Hey guys, this is Mike with Sky to Skier. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the rising crime that we've seen in the country and understanding the attack cycle. We're going to start that off with target selection. I kind of want to go back basically to our origins. Those of you who don't know, I was in the Marines. I policed for a while, then I was a contractor overseas, a security contractor, and I spent a good bit of my time basically making sure that people were safe. That's kind of been my my whole professional life until I started well, this, and you know, it's kind of grew into its own thing. But the one thing that we do know is we do know how to keep you safe. I'm a big fan that everybody carries some type of defensive tool with them, whether that's a firearm, big fan of that myself, whether it's a knife or whatever you choose. But I want you guys to understand something, that the real weapon is the space between your ears. It always has been. Your firearm or whatever defensive tool that you've got is exactly that. It's a tool. It's a tool to accomplish a task. So we're going to talk to you a little bit today about the attack cycle, understanding what that means and how that actually works, and how once you understand what the attack cycle is and how that relates to you individually, you can keep bad guys from basically choosing you as a target in the first place. And to be frank and honest with you, we have Sky Group International, which is our training arm, and as well as our B2B consulting side of the house. I'm under no delusion that I'm going to stop criminality or I'm going to stop bad guys from doing bad guy stuff. But what I can do is I can raise the cost of business for those guys if they go choose someone else, and keep my clients and my people safe. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about target selection. What target selection basically means is that this is how a criminal, a bad guy, a terrorist, or whatever ne'er-do-er you can think of, that's how they choose particular victims. And one of the things that they look at is what's the cost of benefit ratio. Once you understand that any criminal act or any terrorist act or any other bad activity is truly a business decision, what they're looking to do is basically they're doing a risk-reward ratio, just as any of you guys who are in business or your day-to-day life, you're doing the exact same thing. Well, so are bad guys. So what we want to do is raise that cost of business. And then in target selection side of the house, how that directly affects you is if you look like food, you're going to get eaten. That's just the way of the world. That's not only for criminal activity, but that's just the way nature is. And if you understand that, you can craft your own protection strategy to make sure that you're chosen. And it's simple little things. We do a lot of things in life where we get sucked into not paying attention to our surroundings. These little things right here. Our phones have become ubiquitous with day-to-day life here in the U.S., and I call them time stealers, because that's exactly what they are. Because as you're walking around, you got your earbuds in, or you're texting away or watching whatever, you're telling the whole world that, hey, I'm not really paying attention to my surroundings. Now, I don't mind having an earbud in or anything like that. I mean, I get it. I mean, that's just day-to-day life. But keep one in, so you've got at least one auditory sensor that's available. And then start paying attention to your surroundings. That means you keep your head up and you're looking around. When you walk out of a building, and this is something just quite simple, take a minute, get a lay of the land, have a quick look, do a quick left or right. When you come out, pay attention. Now for you, what you're doing is you're telling the rest of the world that you are acutely aware of your surroundings. What you're telling the bad guy is that, okay, if they're paying attention to me here, and they're paying attention to their surroundings, probably everything else in their own personal safety program is probably top notch. I'm going to go target somebody else because it's just simply not worth the risk. Because ultimately, what a bad guy, a criminal, a terrorist, or whatever the hell you want to call them, what they're looking for is the element of surprise. That's key for them in using the target selection phase, is finding some way to surprise you so they can cause maximum harm to get whatever they want from you. And that, folks, that's the basics of target selection.